In this video, I'm going to show you how to measure and place furniture on your floor plan. And this is very straightforward. Um, all I've done is shown you pictures over here on the right-hand side of the elements within the room. Now, you don't have to submit separate photographs of your furniture, but I just did this because it was a little bit more helpful for you all to see. But you can see here, all I did was I took a photograph of the bed, the dresser, and the nightstand, which are the only pieces of furniture within this space. And all I did was connect my tape measure to them and measure them just exactly the same way as I did with the rest of the architectural and wall features. And so when I pulled out my tape measure on this bed, the length you can see was 6 feet 6 inches, okay, or 78 inches. And it was 78 inches there, that way too. And so 6 feet 6 inches is also the same as 78 inches, which is also the same as 6.5 feet. And so you can see here on my floor plan, that bed is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6.5 boxes. Now there's a bunch of other stuff added onto this bed, headboards and footboards and things, but for our very simplified floor plan, it's really not necessary to include all that. What I did do was show a little indicator that is sort of drafting language for a bed, and that's where it shows the bedspread folded over. Even though that's not what's showing in my picture, that's the symbol for a bed when we draft it. Okay, you can also see here, very simple nightstand here on the side of the bed, and you can see it's right down here. It's 2 feet wide if I measured this way, okay, and 1 foot 6 inches deep if I measured this way, or 18 inches deep. So 2 feet this way, 1.5 feet this way. And so you can see here, it's not showing it's not overlapping whole boxes, but if you put the little pieces together, you'll see that there's a full box here and then 2 little partial pieces, which equal up to another box. And then you can see here, it's a full box running this way, and then about maybe 2 inches over here on this box and 4 inches over here, that total 18 inches. And then this piece of furniture is, of course, a dresser, and it's nice and wide, 5 feet 6 inches wide, or 66 inches wide, or 5.5 feet wide. And you can see here it's taking up, of course, 5.5 boxes. And then you can see here the width is 1.5 feet, or 1 feet 6 inches, or 18 inches, which is what you see this dimension here. So these are very simple boxes. You could certainly label these to be a nightstand if you wanted to, although I know based on context, a little table next to a bed is a nightstand, and usually a rectangular shaped dresser. If it's a rectangular shaped piece of furniture, if it's the only thing in the room, is usually some kind of storage. But you're welcome to label mysterious rectangles if you like, or give enough context to the viewer by placing them in a location that the viewer can guess what they are. In this video, I'm going to show you how to transfer the dimensions for your furniture pieces onto your floor plan. And when I first started, I was actually drawing this piece of furniture here 2 inches or 2 boxes from the back corner of the wall, realizing that it was 5.5 feet long. And it came too close to this door here. It didn't look like my measurements. And when I counted, I realized I was 1 box short on this side. And so no problem at all, easy. All I'm gonna do is just move it all up 1 foot, and then I'm gonna erase really well. And then when I cover this up with pen, you won't even know it's there. So just kind of be aware that there's some systems in place when furniture doesn't fit, and it fits in the space, that you just made a mistake measuring, and all you have to do is redraw it. I always say, it's always quicker the second time. See how fast? No problem. Okay, line in the middle. Okay, there's my windows. Okay, now we're ready for this piece of furniture. So it's 2 feet from the back corner, and it's 5.5 feet long. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5.5. That's a little better.
So when we measured this piece of furniture, it was 1 foot 6 inches wide, or 1.5 feet, or 18 inches. So you can see here, I'm drawing 1.5 boxes thick. Okay, and then of course we've got the king size bed. Those are huge. And so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6.5 feet by 6.5 feet. So we'll go ahead and I'm gonna pull it off the wall just a little bit. I'll start right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5. Put a mark there. And then there's my half right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I do my pillows. Okay, and that's how your viewer knows that this is a bed. And you can do more details if you want, but at the very least, that's what you need. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and draw the nightstand, which was 2 feet wide. By 18 inches deep. Okay, so if you want, I'll just teach you something a little extra here. If you want to add lamps, all you have to do is just bring your circle template in here like this. Draw a little lamp, and then you can just use your little your ruler to create an X inside. And that just indicates that there's a lamp here. And it actually signals to the designer that there's an outlet somewhere around there too, which is helpful to know. Okay, so now we've got the furniture drawn in, the architectural features are drawn in, everything looks really, really good. And now it's time to trace. So this can be a little nerve-wracking for the first time. A lot of times I recommend for students to make photocopies of this before they lay pen down, just in case you make a mistake. But again, the more you do this, the more you practice, the better you'll get. So if you make a mistake, just draw it again. So all I'm going to do here is just in a somewhat methodical way. Okay, and now I can extend lines all the way down. You can see there's a little bit of bleed right there. That's what I want to try to avoid. I got to pick up my pen a little sooner. Okay, and then it's really just going slow, taking deep breaths, relaxing, and trying to have a good time with this, because it can be fun if you don't take it too seriously. And you just kind of try to relax your body while you're doing it. Okay. And I always have a little bit of pause always before I draw a line to make sure it needs to be there before I draw it. You can see here. Okay. You may want a thinner pen. There's sets of microns that come in all different thicknesses. And a thinner pen might work for you too. Okay, so you can see I've got my doors drawn in. Okay, I'm not going to trace this whole thing on camera, but you can see here as I get these in, it's starting to define and look really nice and crisp. And then you can use a thicker marker here to kind of fill in the black if you want to, or you can use your pen here as long as you go really, really slowly. Okay, but the solid walls are supposed to be post-shade in. That's what we call filling things in with black. And the rest of these things, you know, you can just draw real nice thin lines here and fill in everything. You can also switch in between. And so you can see this is a set of microns. And you can see there's all different thicknesses. And if you really want to get nice thin lines here, you can see like on my windows. Look, this is 0.005. And so it's 0.2 millimeter thickness. And so that's really nice to do these with. You kind of have to spin as you draw. But see, they're so thin. And that's a level of craftsmanship if you want to get into, you're certainly welcome to. But at the very least, just trying to draw really thin lines the best you can, and certainly getting them crisp is the most important here. Once you've got everything drawn, and its location, then all you have to do is take an eraser and just erase any extra lines here. It's real easy. See, you just go ahead over here like this. Now, the handheld erasers, you know, the ones that are the big kind of white ones or pink ones, the pink ones will leave a little bit of residue, but those big white ones that are kind of no mark erasers, those work nice too. Otherwise, something like that will work great. And then once it's all traced in, all you have to do is get a really nice scan on a flatbed scanner or a really clear shot with your phone, and you're ready to go. And then you can also go ahead and add your camera views in. So I'll go ahead and just show you. You just use a circle template. Okay. So you can do those all around and finish it up, and it's ready to go. But don't feel bad if it takes you a couple of traces to get these right on the first try. The more you do it, the better you'll get and the quicker you'll go. Okay.